What's going on, everybody? This is Matt Rinkey, the founder of Illumination Wealth. I hope this finds you staying healthy and safe and hopefully getting into the holiday spirit, despite what has been, I'm sure, a very difficult year. And with winter upon us, I hope that we are able to emerge from an economic winter for all of our sakes going forward. For those of you that haven't heard, the Congress has passed a second stimulus bill, which has over $900 billion allocated to it for individuals as well as small businesses alike. And I wanted to update you briefly on some of those key factors, especially for business owners as it relates to this new stimulus bill. And so one of the most important things that happened over the prior year was the Paycheck Protection Program. So now there is what's called a second draw PPP loan out there that is going to be available to business owners who may have already received a first PPP loan, but experienced some significant financial hardship this past year. And so basically what that means is that this second PPP loan that you would be eligible for has a similar dollar amount that you can qualify for. So if you had an average monthly payroll of $100,000 last year, as part of the last loan, you could get 2.5 times that amount, which is a similar amount to what you had on the previous application. Now, restaurants have a special formula where they can qualify for more, but in general, we're looking at 2.5 times your average monthly payroll in terms of this new PPP loan. However, they've also capped the size of this loan, so there's not loans up to $10 million. It's really for smaller employers with 300 or less employees. So with that being said, in order to qualify, there are some revenue decline percentages in order to actually qualify. This isn't for any business out there. So basically, in order to qualify for this loan, there is a 25% loss of revenue test. And so basically, if you were in business in 2020 and 2019, you would be comparing your quarter one, quarter two, quarter three revenue against the 2019 quarter. And if your revenue had declined 25% or more, that would make you eligible for this new PPP loan. So that's important, and they are going to be forgivable, similar to the recent PPP loan, as long as 60% of them are spent on payroll costs. So that's one big thing to be aware of. The other thing to be aware of is that the PPP expenses that the IRS recently said would not be deductible for tax purposes will now be deductible, which is a very good thing. So this actually not only is a loan, but it also reduces your taxable income. So you're not accelerating income and paying tax on it. This is a great development, and it impacts both your first loan, your first PPP loan, as well as this new round and the second draw of PPP loans. So that's something as well to be aware of. So as you're doing your year-end tax planning and tax projections, understand where you stand from a taxable income standpoint now that the expenses that you use with PPP money are now deductible. So that's great. And so the legislation also states that the EIDL grants and advances, which are considered forgiven in most instances, do not need to be repaid and are also not taxable to the small business owner. So this was a grant of up to $10,000. That was the maximum that you could receive, was a grant. In the past, that would be taxable income. It's no longer going to be taxed as income on your tax return in 2020. So that is great news as well. And so now other things from an administrative and complexity standpoint, the forgiveness applications are going to be changing once again. So for anybody who received a loan of $150,000 for PPP or less, there's going to be a simplified forgiveness application that's going to be 1 page long, and you're not going to need to provide all of that disparate documentation with all those complex calculations that you had to in the past. So that is a huge administrative burden being lifted, because it takes time to run all of those calculations. You're still going to need to keep that documentation on hand in the event that you get audited. But this is some really positive news for the overall economy and small business owners. in addition to individuals, there's going to be an additional stimulus rebate check that's going to be sent out to people who had income of $75,000 as an individual or $150,000 as a married couple. So another stimulus check is going to be showing up in bank accounts automatically for people. And there's also going to be expanded unemployment assistance for $300 per week for additional 11 weeks. So all in all, those are the big highlights. The bill was over 5,500 pages long. So these are some of the key things for business owners to be aware of. And I'd encourage you to be in touch with your trusted advisors to make sure that you are prepared. Contact your banker, contact your CPA, contact your financial and wealth advisors to ensure that everyone's on the same page so that you are going to be maximizing your financial resources as we move into what is hopefully going to be a better 2021. So with that, have a wonderful, healthy rest of 2020, and let's hope for continued health and prosperity in 2021. Thank you for your time. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any other questions. Matt at illuminationwealth.com, and look forward to connecting again with you soon. Take care.